Joining me now is a man you may not have heard of. You might have heard his product. It's not super new on the sports scene, but a lot of fighters and athletes are starting to use this. They're called Blazepods. Brian Farber is the Blazepod USA Director of Business Development. Brian, thanks for joining me today, man.
No problem. Thanks for having me. As my son comes and interrupts me, uh, I apologize for that. Let me just do this really fast. Can you close the doors, please? Thank you.
Not a problem at all.
What an intro. I literally
Exactly.
just said,
Exactly.
please do not come into the other room. Uh,
No, it's all good, man. So let's not dive straight directly into the Blaze Pods. Let's go back on sort of your like upbringing and how you got started into this whole thing. I did a little bit of research on you. I checked out. I saw you started with soccer, and then moved into working for various industries or same industry but different promotions and organizations and whatnot before you came to Blaze Pods. Have you always had an athletic background?
yeah, I did it all when I was young. Snowboarding, motocross, and then team sports, baseball, basketball, football, soccer. But it was always soccer. It was always my passion. It didn't really matter how good I was at another sport. I just I didn't want it as bad. So I dwindled them down when I got older, and then I really fully committed to soccer probably when I was like 12, 13, and then it really became a solo sport when I went into high school. I stopped everything else in eighth grade.
And how far did you get with soccer?
I mean, I played for Portland Timbers. I played for Houston Dynamo. I've represented the U.S. men's national arena team since 2008. So we won one World Cup, and then I've won five championships with various teams throughout my career. I have five rings. San Diego Soccer's most recently, which is an indoor team here in San Diego, and still going at 39. And I think I'm probably pretty close to the end.
What do you think it will be that makes it the end?
I don't know. I think you just know when it's done, right? Like you just kind of know. I started feeling it a little bit last year. I had long term effects of COVID, so that kind of I feel like it maybe was more unnaturally pushing me that direction, and so I'm gonna give it another go. We won the championship. It was good timing, I guess, maybe to go out, but there was no fans in the stands until the final game. It just didn't feel normal. So I'm gonna go back for another season, and we'll see how it goes from there.
For sure. Now, Blaze Pods. I noticed on your LinkedIn page that you worked for a company called Skills as well, and I do some golfing, so I know the product quite well. I have a driver and a wedge kind of thing to play around with and get my skills up there. Hence the name, I guess. But what led you from there into Blaze Pods? Because both sort of training companies.
Yeah, I had a great time at Skills. I started there in 2014. I was brought in to create the entire kind of soccer line. We went through a couple different ownership groups. So at the time, I was under somebody I had a ton of respect for. He was the former captain of the Harvard soccer team. His daughter was on the national team, and then eventually, over time, he left, and then an acquisition came forward. I took on other categories, performance, golf was actually one of my categories, volleyball, hockey, lacrosse. It was kind of everything was just kind of sitting on my plate at one point. It was overwhelming, and then we were acquired. The acquisition was a big challenge for me. I have a lot of great friends over there, but throughout the process, I just was. We were less focused on what I believed in as player development and high level training products, and BlazePod is always this thing, this technology that I always wanted to understand and work around and work with. And it just was perfect timing when I was starting to not necessarily enjoy as much of what I was doing there. This opportunity came about, and great timing for me. And now BlazePod is, the sky's the limit with this product. It's amazing what it can do, who we can help, who it affects, from young to old, from high level to basic, cognitive warm ups. Doesn't matter the sport, we can help with everything. And now it's just a matter of kind of where we take it.
For sure. And did you know about the product and the company prior to being brought in with them? Like,
A
had you
little
played
bit.
with it?
Yeah, a little bit. It was always something that I wanted to make. Essentially, was intelligent lights, reaction lights, whatever we wanted to go, wherever we want to take it. What we weren't really capable of it at skills, and throughout the acquisition and through the furlough and the time away, and just kind of looking at everything, um, the opportunity kind of presented itself as a consulting position in the beginning, and then it just turned into more. And I believe the Blazepod headquarters team believes in what my capabilities are, and it kind of took off pretty quick. Now we have a full team over here. We have sales, marketing, myself. We're launching an education program. We have a full team at headquarters. We have distribution partners all over the globe, and it was kind of like I just jumped into it with both feet, excited about the opportunity because the product that I did know about early on has so much capabilities.
Yeah, definitely. And funny enough, because up here in Vancouver, we have a place called Science World, and it's not just for the kids, the adults, they can go in and play stuff as well. And one thing that I always competed against my buddies in was, on the wall they had lights, and it was reaction time, and we would see who can go the fastest. Oh, I can beat you, I can beat you, I can beat you. And I was like, man, this would be super cool if you could have this at home. I mean, not only for training, but it could be drinking games, blah, 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 whatever, right? A night with your buddies just trying to beat them at something that's active as well. And I saw a Blazepod pop up, I think, on my Instagram sponsored feed, maybe 8 months ago, maybe a year ago. And I thought, man, that is super cool. I'd love to see how far this goes. Now, what was your first reaction when you heard about the product and you got in there and you saw it actually working?
I'm a product guy, like through and through. I love just seeing what's new, testing it to see if it does what it says it can do. And my mind immediately around Blazepod was, wow, this thing is like limitless. Like we could put this on a heavy bag for boxing. We can put this
Yeah.
on a rebounder for soccer. We can attach this to a goal for accuracy. We can put it on the floor for like court awareness, or in hockey, it's the same thing. So there was just like so many things going through my brain that I think I was just so I guess enamored with the idea of like what can be done if we focus on sport, and the fitness side of things is a whole nother side. So honestly, it was a really easy kind of decision for me to, once I spoke to the team, the founder Yaniv, it was like an easy conversation for me to say like, where do I sign up?
For sure. I think the first thing I saw was obviously people, playing against each other, the line drills and whatnot and all that stuff. But most recently, I think because I've got my hands on them and I've been searching them and looking stuff up, it continuously pops up onto my feed. And I think the most recent thing that's been popping up is hockey and guys doing the accuracy drills with the hockey sticks. Now, tell me about the pods or tell the people about the pods that are going to be watching this, because that's pretty impressive to have a guy wrist shotting a puck or hitting a puck into these pods and them not being damaged. They're obviously strength proven.
Yeah, they're very durable. They're super portable. Here's an example of one. They stack when they charge. They come in a really convenient kind of like bag. We try to make it as easy for the athlete or the trainer as possible. But the product itself is super durable. I mean, we have, I go to a soccer event and we have players jumping on them with their cleats. We have hockey players. Some of the funniest training is hockey players are hitting them with sticks or tapping them or hitting them with their skates or shooting them in some cases. We don't recommend it, but it's happening.
Yeah.
So, they're very durable, and it's just a matter of your creativity, which I'll show you in a second on kind of what you can do with them. And the limitations is very few. And we've seen a lot of things across different sports, but in hockey in particular, we just launched a new product called the Pod Base. It is an EVA material that you put the Blazepod into, and it keeps it on the ice. It keeps it from sliding around as much. And, maybe people shoot it into the goal a little bit less.
That's pretty cool. And so speaking of functionality, you said the possibilities are endless. I noticed in the package when I got it, I have the suction cups, can throw it up on a window or on a wall. There's the straps to put to a goal post, like you said, or a heavy bag. Just tell us about what else you can do with this thing, because you said show us, as you said, if you want.
Yeah, I'll give you a quick kind of rundown. This is kind of the way that I work with a lot of our athletes or coaches for the first time when they want to get familiar. I have 4 pods sitting here behind me. Can you see all those in the camera? Or are they
I
not
can
quite?
see the last one on the far right there. Yeah, there we go.
Let me scoot it back a little bit. So we have 4 here. You can connect to a lot more than 4, but 4 will be a good example. And you can see that those are lit up blue. Try to make it darker in here. So we're going to set up a quick exercise under a random. So I'm actually going to create the exercise, set it up under random. I'm going to use 4 pods. They're flashing, ready to go. I'm going to set my settings to just hit it to move on. No light delay. There's all these different variables we can set, critique, get creative. We're just going to go for, how about 20 seconds just to make it easy. And I'll show you real quick. See how many I get. Now, this is purely random. I'm only going blue only. So as soon as I tap, I get another one, right? So I'm here, trying to go as fast as I can. There's no option, or there's no risk if I hit the wrong one. But again, like the challenge against like my friends, how fast can I actually go? I can tap the wrong one and it doesn't give me a consequence in this setting. Like that right there, right? Trying to go as fast as I can and make a mistake, that's okay. So I was talking through that, but I got 41. I kind of slowed down in the beginning. But let's just say I got like 45. I didn't delay. Now, that's a good example of how fast your reaction time is. Reaction time is one of the exercises that we see super important with boxers, MMA, in your field, right? How fast can you react? But now we're going to go into the exercises, and I'm going to create a focus. Same thing using 4 pods, but now I'm going to add distracting colors. 1 sec, 2 distracting pods. So my color is going to be blue. The distracting pods are going to be, we're going to go pink, green, yellow. I'm still going after blue only. The idea here is how many touches can I get without now not hitting the wrong colors. So let's make sure I got this all set up right here. Hit, next. So I can set it up without a strikeout. I'm not going to do that, but if I touch the wrong color 3 times or 1 time, I can set it to whatever I want. The exercise will end. Make this 20 seconds. Again, 1 sec. Okay, so I'm still going blue, but don't touch like the green and the yellow. So I'm still going blue here, right and left hand. Don't touch the wrong color. If I do touch the wrong color, I get a little bit of a penalty, but I also waste my time. So now there's more processing going on. My decision making is heightened, and consequences again can be added up to the exercise could have ended. So I got 33. So my score dropped like 15% in terms of speed and processing. Again, talking a little bit in the beginning, but you can see that the speed comes down. And now I'm going to go back and do it, and I'm going to add one more variable. I'm going to add a secondary color for myself. So I'm going to have red and blue, and I'm going to go right hand red, left hand blue, and I'm still going to avoid green and yellow. I'm going to have no strikeout, 20 seconds. So I got 33 last time. So again, right hand red, 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 red. It's all random. Blue, red, blue. So it's how fast can I think, process, do it, and not make a mistake. Like that. I almost made a mistake right there. Oh, I did. So then I got 28. So again, my score comes down. I didn't talk as much in the beginning on that. But now that's just sitting on top of cones. Now, They could be running. They could be spread out. They could be hanging from a bag. They could be at a shooting target. There's so many things that I could do that it's just a matter of the sport, the trainer, the creativity. But right now, I just went from random to focus with 1 color to focus with 2 colors. Like I'm ready to go take a test. I'm primed. I'm ready for whatever comes at me. I feel like connected to myself, if that makes sense.
For sure. And hitting those things, like you're just smacking them. Is there a little bit of a resistance? Like, do you need to hit them hard? Because as I said, you can throw hockey pucks at them. You can do whatever. Like, you just have to tap them.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like I could show you a little bit, but we call it a tap. It's like 2-finger tap on the top of the pod. You're good to go. With these cone adapters, you can raise them up higher, right? If you're a basketball player and you're 6'5" or, even just 6 foot and taller, I don't have that problem. On the floor is maybe a little bit less convenient, right? Especially when I'm dribbling a basketball. But imagine dribbling a basketball and then tapping these pods and going right hand red, switching hands, left hand blue, and trying to maintain possession, protect the ball, and then process the information. Now, that's like over stimulus, but it's if you can handle that exercise, then you can handle anything that goes on throughout the game. So that's like the fun part for me.
For sure, and that's functionality just with the pods themselves. You were using an app to come up with your own. You came up with that yourself. Now the app, as I've dove into a little bit, not a ton, has many different exercises and things on it as well. Correct?
Yeah, there's like 200 exercises and counting. We have a ton of other ideas that haven't been filmed. We continue to evolve. We continue to speak to, like, a high level boxing instructor has started to give us some new content that they want to see. We have basketball trainers that are giving us suggestions. Every single day we get kind of new people reaching out, showing us how they use them differently than maybe we are explaining. And the more comfortable you get with the product and the app, the more creative you can get. Sometimes I just try to force myself into finding a new way to use it. So I'll set them up in the backyard. I have a set of stairs up here on this hill, and I'll set them up to be an all-out setting where I'll have just 2 pods, one at the bottom of the stairs, one at the top. I'll press go, and then as soon as the pod lights up, first round it lights up immediately. I tap it, I sprint to the top, I tap it. I'm gonna know my time, but I'll set up my exercise to run 10 circuits in a row, and I'll have a 15-second kind of time to get back to the bottom of the stairs, catch my breath, get ready to go. And as soon as the pod lights up, I touch it, I sprint, I touch it,
man.
I finish my 10 exercises, and I know what my interval speeds were. I know where I hit my wall, if it's at 6 or 7 or 8, and I can compare that from this week to next week and do the same thing all over again. So it's really, like I said, it's unlimited. And we're actually about to embed them into some soccer rebounders. For me, that one's like a near and dear.
I bet.
The idea of helping a player be able to see the field better and make decisions better, it's going to be unbelievable.
Now you're tracked individually. So like you said, you see your own feedback on the app. Can you compare to other people around the world as well? Like, is it going to be community-based?
Yeah, we definitely have community-based planning. The only variable there is I could set up the exercises here and you could set them up there, and maybe they're slightly different in terms of shorter, narrower, taller, lower, whatever it might be. So there's variables, but essentially, that's the whole thing. We want people to be able to encourage others and show others and communicate with each other how they're using it to their benefit. We definitely have seen it already. We just did a big release for an announcement last week on our partnership with West Ham United in the soccer world. And within days, we've had multiple soccer coaches kind of chiming in and saying, I use these. This is how I do it. And, I couldn't get by a training session without them any longer. I couldn't even imagine what it was like before I had Blazepod. So for me, that's what's super exciting is once somebody uses it once, their mind kind of runs wild, and then they just figure out other ways to incorporate it within their topic or their session or warm up or cool down.
We've talked soccer. You showed us in the background speed exercises, which is also mental training, obviously. But we are MMA based, the website itself. Can you give us some information and feedback on how MMA people are utilizing this and MMA fighters are using it? Obviously, you said the heavy bag, you can strap it right on there and whatnot, but what are some other aspects in the gym that guys can use this for MMA?
Yeah, so it kind of comes down to everything can be done within the app. So we've had some people using them as just like timers for rounds and using it for cardio without having to think and having to watch a watch or, count jump ropes or whatever it might be. It's just purely used as a timer for like a station, and then they rotate quickly and they can kind of just move throughout that process. Now, that's not at all our core competency. It's a nice added bonus. I mean, that's part of it. But for fighting, for combat, for MMA, for boxing, the number one kind of thing there is reaction time. Sure. Everybody wants to be able to get in a punch and get out of the danger zone, and how quickly can they react to what they're processing with their eyes, right? Um, some other brands or cognitive exercises out there are hearing, they're audible. But if you're in the ring or the octagon, whatever it might be, you're not being told what to do. You're not being joystick. You see and analyze and do and perform, right? And so all your training brings you to that moment. So if you can see that maybe your opponent's guard is down, do you take that chance? Is he baiting you? And how fast can you do it? Now, we've seen a ton of MMA and boxers using it for like tapping pods as quickly as they can, but also we can have a light delay. So I tap a pod and then I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm off balance. I'm moving. And then a pod will light up. It'll be random. It can be random between any time, 1 second to 10 seconds. So maybe I'm moving the whole time without actually throwing anything. And then a pod lights up, and different color could mean different punch. Could be jab, could be uppercut, all of these are variables based off of that trainer and their goal for the day. But it all comes down to that connecting your physicality to your brain. So your mind and your body together as one, performing as seamless as possible. And that's what Blazepod does.
These things are super cool, man. I can't even tell you how awesome they are, and seeing them in use on the screen, and for people that are watching this, for you to see these is a cool thing, but you got to just try them. You got to get your hands on them and try them. Brian, is there anything else that you think that the listeners or viewers need to know about Blazepod before we let you go?
Yeah, I think like you said, seeing it in person is a big difference. Here's a quick story. I was actually at a soccer event, and I'm the kind of guy who's not afraid to talk to anybody. And this guy walks by and he says to me, tell me about these. I didn't know anything about him. And I was like, oh, let me show you an exercise. And he did the exercise I just showed you, and he beat me on the score. And immediately I knew this guy had to be a professional athlete of some level, because I never lose. And I'm like, what do you do? And he was like, oh, I've been a professional volleyball player for 10 years. And I'm like, oh, that makes sense. He had this long wingspan, so he was doing 6 pods instead of 4. So this exercise, but wider. And I'm reaching, and he's just hovering. And his peripheral vision was unbelievable. And I'd like to think I have good peripheral vision for my sport, but he had it. And he's super athletic, and he crushed it. But then I showed him the other focus light logic with the distracting colors and the right hand red, left hand blue. And I smashed him, and he was like, he realized, like, as good as he was, maybe at the top of his game, there's always room to work. And this product can help you do that by yourself. A lot of times people need that motivation. A lot of times you want to be able to find a way to work out and improve on your own, not just in a team environment. And we can do that for you from your home, from whether it's planking on the floor to going to the gym and strapping them up and just putting in your headphones and going. So it's just a matter of you actually need to see it to understand it, to really fully grasp how good they are. We made that guy a believer in like 4 minutes. He walked away with 2 sets.
That's amazing. Now, let people know where they can find them. Obviously, on the post that I have on MMAsucker.com, it's going to have all the information that you need. But for people watching this on YouTube, let people know where they can find yourself, as well as where they can pick up Blazepod if they want them.
Yeah, we're on Instagram. We're on TikTok. And then blazepod.com is where we really tell the story. You can go in there and understand the light logics that I mentioned today that I didn't even cover. There's definitely more options, but we try to do as best we can to explain the product so everybody is fully understanding of what they're about to purchase and how much it's going to change their life.
Any little teaser on what's next?
Man, we have some new adapters coming, and one of them is going to be a game changer. We created a challenge. This is maybe a little bit early, but we created a challenge, and it is so addicting. We have pods mounted to the wall up here, chest, shoulder width apart, chest high, and down low. And when you get this exercise going, very similar to what I showed you today, you run through these 3 sequences and then you get a total score. As soon as you do it, you just want to like beat your friends at it. And when you have a poor performance, you know you're having an off day. I actually did it the other day, and I was in a rush and I got a poor score, and I knew what my good score was. And we're embracing this kind of standard score scenario where we're going to give our customers the dimensions, and we're going to be able to create a kind of worldwide contest. It's not quite there yet. that's one thing. And then within our app, we have 5 major projects that are launching over the next 6 months that I can't really get into yet because we don't know the timelines, but it's only going to make the prods that much better.
Awesome, man. I appreciate your time today, dude, and I can't wait for people to get their hands on these things even more after I've seen them myself.
Yeah, man, no worries. Thanks for having me on. It's been super fun.
For sure.